Landmine Goes Click has some serious chops in the direction department. The acting is pretty solid, the storyline is intriguing, and I hate it. Landmine Goes Click is a 2015 horror from filmmaker Levin Bakia, in which 3 American tourists hike through Georgia, the country, not the state, and unsurprisingly from the title of the film, one of them steps on a landmine.
So, last adjustment, everyone move 2 small steps to the right, okay?
Okay.
Ready? You know?
Freeze.
Okay. Mine! No,
Freeze! You're stepping on something, freeze!
It's a solid enough premise, at least the blurb is solid enough to sell the film, but there's a lot of things the blurb doesn't tell you. First off, this is betrothed Daniel and Alicia, and this is Chris, Daniel's best man, I think. Right from the get-go, and I mean 2.5 minutes in, the first dialogue of the film, we find out that Chris and Alicia have had an affair.
What we did, or...
What we did doesn't matter anymore, okay? But...
Our protagonists. Most films have a protagonist who is either relatable or likeable, maybe someone scrappy, the undercat, someone who has to lead us through the hero's journey, someone to catch mice with. Not this one. He had an affair with his best friend's fiancée. Nice. Anyway, hiking ensues. Everything's a bit uncomfortable, you know, because Chris has doinked Alicia, and Devi shows up. For some reason. Whoever Devi is. And when Devi is trying to take a photo of the 3 travellers, Chris stands on a landmine.
I'm taking snapshot. 3 of you together.
Yeah.
Nice background.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd
cool,
be nice.
There's a bit of back and forth. Devi leaves to get some help, and then we find that Daniel, who knows of Chris and Alicia's tryst, has planted the landmine.
I got a question for you.
Daniel, what the fuck is
No,
going on?
no.
What is
Me,
going on?
me first. Come on. What do you think the statistical chances are of you stepping on a landmine?
Daniel is, at this point, painted as the villain. Now life isn't black and white, and in all the shades of grey here, I'm not struggling to find a villain. I'm struggling to find a hero. I don't know, must be Devi, I suppose. Of course, there's no cell phone signal, so Daniel gives Alicia a shovel and leaves. Now, aside from the characterisation being somewhat problematic, this isn't a bad start to a taut thriller. But sadly, it doesn't end there. At the 30-minute mark, enter Ilya. A man who has a radio, a gun, a dog, I hate dogs, speaks English and is willing to help. No wait, no he doesn't. After some sexually abusive suggestions on how Alicia can pay for his help,
Bring it to me like a duck.
he rapes her. This is just over the halfway mark of the film. By this point, the movie has divulged into nausea. It's sickening. There are no likeable characters. And the rape goes on, and on, and on. During which Chris has Ilya's gun, but they are too far away from him to shoot him without hitting her. I don't know why he didn't shoot the dog. Chris eventually takes his shot, and shoots Alicia. Falls off the landmine and blacks out, only to find Alicia's not quite dead body yet on top of his when he awakens, and Ilya pointing out that the landmine was obviously a fake and he'd spotted it straight away. Then Ilya leaves and the first half of this depressing shit show ends. As the second part begins, we see Chris driving about in Georgia. Apparently some time has passed. He goes to a house and finding a mother and daughter there, he explains he's lost and asks for some directions, even asking to pay for something to eat. This nice family helps him, until that is, of course, that Daddy gets up. And it's Ilya. Chris pulls a gun with a silencer that's never addressed or explained, shoots Ilya in the knees, incapacitating him, and then drags the whole family into the living room of the house, where he proceeds to force Ilya's daughter, Lika, to strip naked, playing Russian roulette with her if she doesn't strip quick enough, with the eventual aim of raping her.
Now I'm gonna count to 3, and if you don't undress, I'm gonna pull the trigger anyway, and that's wasting a chance. I'm gonna pull the trigger anyway.
Our hero. So likeable. It's made clear through dialogue that Alicia died of her injuries in the mountain, and that neither Ilya's wife or daughter knew anything of the previous incident, but Chris, our protagonist, decides that a sufficient payment for a rapist is eye for an eye with the man's young daughter. We're never told of her age implicitly, but I guess she was supposed to be, 16 maybe? 18? Not that it ever gets that far because Chris shoots her in the side of the head. Whee! And then the film draws to a close with Chris sitting on the floor looking sad. Boo-hoo. And that's why I hate this film, it's mean-spirited. The protagonist is no better than the antagonist, every scene is full of hate, and there's no fun to be had. Horror should be fun. And it's a real shame because there is some talent on show. The direction is close to flawless with fantastic long shots to create a real sense of tension. The acting is pretty good from everyone involved. Sterling Knight, who plays Chris, starts a bit spotty, but for some reason manages to improve as the film goes on, which I guess is back here being able to get the most out of him over time. It just falls down with no likeable characters on screen. They should have spayed and neutered the lot of them. But what do I know? I'm just a cat. Meow.